This incident happened in 2011, shortly after I returned home from college. My family home was in a relatively safe area, but around the time I left for school it had started to decline somewhat. I didn't quite notice right away, and upon my return I was going through a severe depression and life crisis. At the time, I was staying up all night playing the newly released Elder Scrolls V, and on that particular occasion I had gone all day without eating or getting out of bed except for bathroom breaks. So I decided to go to a very popular 24-hour restaurant located very near my house. It is directly in front of a light rail train stop in my city. There are frequently homeless, transient types that frequent the strip mall, but I've never had an issue as the restaurant is typically packed with post-clubbing clientele at these hours. I parked directly in front of said restaurant and got down to order. My food was ready very quickly and got back into my car. The car next to me pulled out first. I hadn't noticed the driver get in, but I didn't give it much thought, and he paused in the middle of the small parking lot. I took this as the driver being courteous and allowing me to leave. So I pulled out and went on my way. As I drove home, the car that had let me out was apparently traveling in the same direction as I was. Just to be cautious, I didn't go home right away. I kept driving past my residential areas, going nonsensical ways, in circles, basically. The car continued to follow me. I continued driving until I saw an approaching yellow light. I decided to run the red light. The driver behind me did as well. It was at this point I started to get scared. I had left my cell phone at home because I was only going to be gone for 10 minutes max. Dumb bats. So I made an impulse decision to go into my residential area. The streets there make up a weird labyrinth of cul-de-sac and through streets, and unless you know it well, it's very easy to get turned around. I turned into an adjacent condo complex that had another entrance directly in my area, but whose roads were windy and confusing. I was able to get some distance between me and my pursuer, but not much. As we exited the condos, he was able to see me make a quick right uphill. I drove quickly at this point, using my knowledge of the area to my advantage to lose him flasher. We did this dance for a good 20 minutes before I was able to round the corner near the particular cul-de-sac where I lived without him in sight. My house is adjacent to the corner home, and the driveway is designed so that cars parked next to the garage aren't visible from the through street. I turned very quickly into my driveway and shut off the car, locked it so all the lights would turn off. I sank into the seat as much as I could, trying to avoid being visible. After a minute or so, I heard the car drive down the cul-de-sac. I heard it turn around at the end of the street and drive back the opposite way. I don't know for sure if that was my follower, but he continued on his way. I ran into my house after that and cried. It was the first of a series of events that would happen that year to open my eyes as to how I really needed to take care of my safety as a young woman. So, mystery driver, let's not meet again.